What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be here in Forza Horizon 4 today to check this car out, the Mercury Cougar Eliminator. If you guys didn't already know, this car is available by reaching level 24 in the Eliminator game. Definitely a little bit of a grind to get there, but if you get a decent finish, it's not terrible. I mean, I say that, but it still took me a couple days playing the Eliminator for an hour or two to be able to finally get up to level 24, but I was also playing on my wheel the whole time, which really adds to the struggle. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing here in Forza Vista. We're going to go over it here first, then we'll jump out, take it into a race stock just so you guys can see how it drives and handles stock. And I have kind of like a pro street or pro touring setup I did for this car. We'll load that up and then we'll take it out and drive around. It's just like a maxed out engine with pretty much all the standard upgrades you would want for handling. Now we will talk a little bit about this car's history. If you guys did not know, this car is actually based off the Mustang chassis. It's just loaded with a little more creature comforts, which is pretty standard for Mercury. The Eliminator was pretty much Mercury's last effort at making any kind of real effort in the muscle car market. The other Cougars were really more considered kind of like a grand touring car as opposed to a pony car like the Mustang, just because of all the creature comforts, the added weight, and the lower power figures they had. As you can see though, the Eliminator does have a Hurst shifter and it had a lot of added upgrades to the performance. You could go all the way up to a 428 Cobra Jet, and there were at least a couple of these cars that were optioned with a 429 that had to be homologated for NASCAR and the Mustang. It just was a really crazy way things worked back then with how you could order cars out of the factory. You can probably tell if you've seen this generation of Mustang on the inside that it is very closely related to it. They share a lot of similarities inside and out. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up here real quick guys. Let you get a little sound clip of it here in Forza Vista. Just like pretty much all the other cars lately, I've noticed that in Forza Vista they just don't sound quite as good as they do in free roam, but still does not sound terrible at all. So as far as aesthetics, the only real changes from the XR7 or standard Cougar were the added hood scoop, the wing, which I believe some Cougars did have an option for a rear spoiler. I just believe the one on the Eliminator is a little bit different. Also, they only made 2,236, I believe it was, for 1970 of this car. There's not very many of these things in existence. I have seen one or two replicas at car shows, but I've never seen a real one in person. They're just super awesome cars, though. They were from an era where everybody was just throwing the biggest engines they could in the smallest cars and trying to make them go as fast as they possibly could in a straight line. As always, before we go out and jump into any racing, I will show you guys what's all available for upgrades to this car. There's actually a pretty decent amount of stuff you can change out. Like I said, this thing does have the 7-liter 428 Cobra Jet in it. Put out 335 horsepower stock, 440 foot-pounds of torque. There was actually two of those engines available this year. One was a ram air, one wasn't, but they still made the same power. You can also do the 6.2 V8, 8.4 V10, 7-liter V8, or the Racing 7.2 V8. So you could potentially turn this into a pretty good, just all-out drag car if you wanted to. As always, you can do all-wheel drive swaps, and then you can jump over here and throw twin turbos on it and positive displacement supercharger. Alright, for body mods, obviously we have the normal Forza ridiculousness. We have two Chen spoilers in the front for some reason. Don't know why you'd want to get rid of that Eliminator wing, but if you want to, there's that Forza wing option that you can always throw on it. And then we have like a dragster scoop, and then you have the, I don't want to say it is the worst looking cowl hood in this game because there are some worse cowl hoods than this, but a pretty terrible looking cowl induction hood option. Alright, for tire upgrades you have all your standard options. I'm not going to take the time to go through all these for you guys. I just want to show you what is available. For front tire width, you can go up to a 275 if you wanted to. In the back, you can actually go pretty crazy on this thing, and you can run a 345 in the back. So you can see what I'm saying. You can make a pretty nasty drag car out of this if you wanted to. For wheel size, you can go all the way up to a 19 if you really, for some reason, thought it'd be a good idea to do that to this car. And we do have wheel spacers available. Now, I'm not going to bother going through with the rest of the chassis or the drivetrain upgrades. I will show you what the car looks like with the different suspension setups real quick while we're here. So like I said, I do already have a setup I'm going to take this out with later, so I'm not going to waste time going through everything that's on every single car. As you can see though, this thing does get super slammed down on race suspension or drift suspension. And we will show you guys what we can do for weight reduction real quick, because this actually does make a pretty massive difference on this car. It brings it all the way down to 2,800 pounds, which for a car of this era is super, super light, especially with a 428 Cobra jet under the hood. And then I'm not going to bother showing you guys what all engine upgrades we can do. It's all the standard stuff. I will show you the power numbers with the stock engine on my build when we go ahead and load that up. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and jump out now. We'll go into free roam, find a race to do, take this thing out stock, show you guys how it handles stock, and then we'll swap the tune onto it and see how this thing handles. I believe it's about 700 horsepower. So as you guys can probably see there on the webcam, I am using my sequential shifter today. I've been playing a lot of WRC8 and I just really didn't feel like changing it because I know I'm going to end up switching it back right away. You can see this car definitely likes to slide right out of the box. I was actually almost considering doing a drift build on this thing just because I feel like it would be a really fun car to drift. Oh, taxi. But then I changed my mind. Switch up to the interior view so you guys can hear what it sounds like in here. Definitely plenty of torque to just lay down rubber whenever you want to in this thing. Definitely feels like an old 70s muscle car. Super soft suspensions, really just prone to weight transfer. See if I can keep from spinning the tires up off the line. Actually, it was a decent launch there. I gotta say, I kinda wish I would've just took the time to switch over to my gated H pattern. It's a lot more fun driving this style of car like that, but it's just so annoying having to switch it back and forth on the Thrustmaster. It is only 4 screws, but at the same time, it's just really annoying doing it. Especially when you have to do it so much when you're making videos 5 days a week like I do. So aside from me complaining about not changing my shifter, I gotta say I'm really enjoying the way this car drives. I hadn't really drove it much stock. I pretty much immediately upgraded it and then took it out and did some pictures with it. By the way, if you guys ever want to see the photos I do in Horizon or any other games, you can check out my Instagram down in the description below. I pretty much upload at least a few different car photo shoots a day that I do in different games. So there's always something new going up over there. But yeah, I have not drove this thing stock, and I gotta say I really do like it, especially for being a muscle car. It's not as overpowered and slidey, I guess is a good way to say it, as some of the other muscle cars are here in Horizon, especially considering the kind of power it does have. It feels like it's got much better handling than a lot of them just in general. Kinda had nowhere to go there. I was going way too fast, especially in a car that does weight transfer when you really just jerk the wheel abruptly. Yeah, let's say we're still on the stock transmission, so we only have a 4-speed, so we are literally maxed out right now. See if I can't hold the rev so it's not just bouncing off the limiter. The sound gets so annoying to listen to. Cut up the inside. Car definitely feels really nice on the wheel too. A lot of the time, some of the muscle cars just feel kind of dead. You can feel the weight of the car moving around, but you really don't feel much else about what's going on with it. But this one actually has got a really nice feel to the steering. too much throttle. As long as you don't let this thing get out of hand in the first place, it's fairly easy to drive, but as soon as you let that rear end get out and the weight starts just tossing itself back and forth, definitely is a handful to get back under control. But wouldn't have made that mistake, we definitely could have got first place, but still a pretty decent finish. Especially for being my first time driving the car stock in a race. I gotta say, I really love the blue color they have for this model. Alright guys, so this is the tune I was talking about that I had thrown on this thing. Basically, I upgraded everything. The only thing I did not do is I did not give it max tire width front or back. I kind of kept it a little smaller, but I did want it to handle. It's more like a Pro Touring, even though I named this tune Pro Street. But as you see, we have 695 horsepower, 773 foot-pounds of torque, just over 2,800 pounds, actually almost 29. And of course, after I load the high horsepower tune on it, we go into the rain. As you guys can see though, I didn't go too crazy dropping it all the way down. I did throw some whole shot wheels on it. I can't remember what, I think I went with 265s front, 295 rear I believe is the tire size. I am on race tires on this thing. Like I said, I wanted it to be able to handle and be just drivable in general. I didn't want it just to be a straight line car. As you can see, pretty much all that body roll is gone. Still very oversteery though, especially here in this rain. Already blown past our original top speed. Alright guys, I'm gonna go find a race real quick and I'll see you guys back here. So this should be a pretty interesting race considering we're about midway up S1 in classic muscle cars. Just have to see how the AI behave and how their cars are tuned and set up here. This could either go really well for us or really bad depending on how the AI want to make the race go basically. Especially because this car is hard to be super precise with, especially, or even with all of the race suspension and everything added onto it. It's still a muscle car at heart and never really been known to be the best handling car, even though it is based off Mustang chassis. Definitely got to be careful with how much torque we have coming out of this Cobra Jet now too, coming out of quarter. You give it just a little too much throttle and you will end up sideways real quick in this thing. Okay, Mustang. You can see right there, even though I was not really getting on the gas that much because I was coming over a crust to lighten the car up enough that with over 700 foot-pounds of torque, it just started spinning the tires up on me. Okay, don't know why he was getting on the brakes there. Saw a big black Charger swinging towards my door and I just got on the brakes. I was not going to chance that. The AI just stomp on the brakes in some really bad places sometimes. Making it really hard to get any speed coming out of the corners because I got to shed all the speed I was carrying in about midway into the corner because they just get on the brakes out of nowhere on me. To manage the throttle coming out of a lot of these corners because there is a lot of elevation change in this sprint race. Oh, come on, there we go. I messed up my line and I didn't want to make any major corrections and cause it to really go out of control on me, so I just kind of took the wall and the fence and kept going. Oh, we're going into the wall. Definitely would have been a total Mercury Cougar Eliminator on that corner in real life. I might be able to catch him in this last little bit of the track here, but I just don't know if this Mercury's got it in it or not. Oh, he bounced off the wall. We might have been okay if it wouldn't have been for him doing that, but that completely screwed me. Second place finish again. Well guys, I gotta say this has been a really fun car to drive here for you guys and do a little review on. If you guys do enjoy the Eliminator, it's definitely worth going out and going to the trouble of reaching level 24. Like I said, it didn't take me a terribly long time, even considering I was playing on a wheel, which definitely makes it a lot harder. I do gotta say, one thing I'm disappointed about with this car is the fact we can't open the hood and actually see the Cobra Jet engine for some reason. I really wish we could, but there's quite a few cars like that in Horizon, so what can you really say? At least we actually do finally have the Cougar Eliminator here. It's not the first time this car's been in the Forza franchise, but it is, I believe, the first time it's been in any Horizon game. I believe up till now it's only been available in motorsport titles. Definitely a fun little car. Got a lot of options for upgrades, at least as far as power plants go and what you can do to the factory engine even. Just like most of the other older muscle cars though, it is lacking with body upgrades and most of what you can do. It is pretty terrible. Oddly though, this is one of the few cars you cannot get a blower add-on for. I don't know why you cannot get the blower coming out of the hood, but you can get the other hoods on this one. Anyways guys, if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and that guy is probably dead now. Comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I don't know why I'm trying to grip this thing. It's kind of working though.